Welcome back to NK's Tales. This is where the revelation began. Dr. Obi called Addis back into the room. The lawyer's face was pale, her hands clasped so tightly her knuckles were white. Mrs. Benedict, your son has disclosed serious sexual abuse. We need to involve the authorities immediately. This is a mandatory reporting situation. The words hit Addis like a physical blow. Her vision blurred. Her breath caught. No, this can't be. Blessing wouldn't. She has references, she came recommended, she's been perfect. Mrs. Benedict, I need you to listen to me very carefully. Dr. Obi's voice was gentle but unyielding. Predators are often the people we trust most. They are charming, reliable, they integrate themselves into families specifically so no one suspects them. Your son has been suffering for years, and right now, he needs you to believe him. Can you do that? Addis looked at Chidi, really looked at him for the first time in months. At his hollow eyes, his thin frame, his hunched shoulders that seemed to carry the weight of the world. She saw the bedwetting, the nightmares, the withdrawn behavior, the disturbing artwork, every sign she dismissed or rationalized. She saw the locked door, Blessing's possessiveness, her grandmother's warning, her own instincts she'd buried under logic and denial. And she saw her son, 9 years old, looking at her with desperate hope mixed with certainty that she would fail him again. I believe you, Addis whispered, her voice breaking. Oh God, Chidi, I believe you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. She reached for him, and for the first time in years, Chidi let his mother hold him while he cried. Dr. Obi contacted the police while Addis held her son. Within hours, detectives arrived at the Benedict home. Blessing was still there, preparing dinner, humming to herself, completely unaware that her perfect cover was about to shatter. When the officers asked to speak with her, Blessing's smile was confident, concerned. Of course, officers. Is something wrong? Is this about Chidi? I've been so worried about that boy lately. He's been having behavioral issues. But the lead detective, Inspector Kaemeka Nwosu, had 20 years of experience with sexual predators. She'd had every excuse, seen every manipulation tactic. We need you to come to the station to answer some questions about your relationship with Chidi Benedict. Blessing's smile flickered. My relationship? I'm his nanny. I take care of him. His parents can tell you I've been nothing but devoted. Mom, please come with us. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. As they led Blessing out in handcuffs, she saw Addis standing in the doorway with Chidi. Her mask slipped completely. You little liar, she screamed at the boy. I gave you everything. I was the only one who cared about you. They were never there. I was. You're going to regret this, you ungrateful brat. Inspector Nwosu cut her off, pushing her into the police vehicle. Chidi buried his face in his mother's side, but for the first time, he wasn't crying. He was breathing heavily. When they got to the station, the investigation moved swiftly. Hugo came forward immediately, presenting her notebook of documented incidents, her observations, her own survivor story that had made her vigilant. Her testimony was crucial, corroborating Chidi's timeline, providing evidence of Blessing's isolation tactics and suspicious behaviors. The police discovered that Blessing's glowing references were fabricated. The families she claimed to have worked for in Victoria Island didn't exist. Mrs. Chidinma, the senior partner who had recommended her, was horrified to learn she'd been manipulated. Blessing had been a temporary secretary at the law firm, had overheard Mrs. Chidinma discussing her previous nanny, and had impersonated references using fake phone numbers and email addresses. She'd been operating under a false identity. Her real name was Mirabel Tochi, and she had a history of being dismissed from previous positions under suspicious circumstances that families had been too embarrassed to report. Most damning was the forensic interview with Chidi, conducted by specialized child abuse investigators. His account was consistent, detailed, and matched all the behavioral indicators of a sexually abused child. Medical examination revealed physical evidence of trauma. The case against Blessing was airtight. During interrogation, Blessing tried every manipulation tactic. She cried, claimed Chidi had misunderstood her affection, said she was only bathing him and he was confused. She blamed Adiz for being an absent mother, suggesting Chidi was a disturbed child and prone to fantasy. But faced with medical evidence, witness testimony, and forensic analysis, her lies crumbled. She eventually stopped talking, demanded a lawyer, and retreated into sullen silence. The trial took place 8 months later. Chidi was 10 years old by then, had been in therapy twice a week, and was slowly rebuilding his sense of safety. But testifying was his greatest fear and his biggest act of courage. The courtroom was packed. Adiz and Emeka sat in the front row, their marriage strained by guilt and recrimination but united in supporting their son. Hugo was there, dressed in her best wear, ready to testify. Grandma Neoma held prayer beads, her lips moving in constant supplication. And Chidi, small and scared, sat in the witness box designed for children, a comfort dog named Lucky by his side. The prosecutor, a formidable woman named Mrs. Adibeo, guided him gently. Chidi, I know this is hard. But I need you to tell the court, in your own words, what Blessing did to you. Chidi's voice started small but grew stronger. He told the truth, the whole truth, every painful detail. He didn't cry this time. He was done crying. He looked directly at Blessing, who sat at the defense table trying to appear sympathetic, and spoke his truth. The defense attorney tried to discredit him, suggested he was coached, implied he was troubled and unreliable. But Dr. Obi's expert testimony dismantled every argument. Hugo's testimony provided crucial corroboration. Medical evidence spoke louder than any cross-examination. When the jury returned after only 3 hours of deliberation, their verdict was unanimous. Guilty on all counts, multiple counts of sexual assault of a minor, child abuse, exploitation. The judge, a stern woman who had presided over too many cases like this, showed no mercy during sentencing. Miss Tochi, you betrayed the sacred trust placed in you as a caregiver. You exploited a vulnerable child for your own gratification. You manipulated an entire family through deception. The harm you have caused this child will echo through his entire life. She paused, her gaze like iron. I hereby sentence you to 25 years imprisonment with no possibility of parole for 15 years. May you use this time to reflect on the monster you have become. Blessing's composure finally broke. She screamed, for the guards had to be dragged from the courtroom still shouting denials and curses. But her voice faded behind closed doors, and for the first time in years, Chidi felt a weight lift from his chest. She couldn't hurt him anymore. She couldn't hurt any child anymore. Recovery wasn't linear. There were good days and terrible days. Chidi had nightmares that woke him screaming. He had panic attacks triggered by seemingly innocent things, the smell of a particular soap Blessing had used, the sound of a door locking, certain tones of voice. He struggled with trust, with physical affection, with feeling safe in his own body. But he also had help. Dr. Obi became a consistent presence, guiding him through trauma therapy, teaching him that healing was possible even when it felt impossible. Adiz quit her high-powered job, chose a position with better hours, and decided that nothing was more important than being present for her son. Emeka reduced his travel, started attending family therapy sessions, learned that providing wasn't the same as parenting. And Hugo, the beautiful brave Hugo, became a permanent part of their household, not as a maid but as family. Adiz helped her get her GED, enrolled her in evening classes. Hugo became an advocate for domestic workers' rights, speaking publicly about abuse recognition. She and Chidi formed a bond that transcended their different experiences, two survivors who had saved each other. The Benedict family created new traditions. Sunday dinners where everyone was present, phones off, attention undivided. Art therapy sessions where Chidi's drawings slowly returned to lighter themes, though darkness still crept in sometimes. Family vacations where they reconnected, learned from each other again, built new memories to replace the poisoned ones. Chidi's smile returned, tentatively at first, then more frequently. He made friends again, joined the school art club, and discovered he wanted to become a child psychologist when he grew up. So I can help other kids like me, he explained. So they know someone sees them. On Chidi's 12th birthday, he did something extraordinary. With his parents' support and Dr. Obi's guidance, he agreed to share his story publicly. Not all the details, not the traumatic specifics, but enough to raise awareness. People were overwhelmed by this poised, articulate boy speaking about the signs parents miss, the importance of believing children, the need for better vetting of caregivers. I want parents to know that predators look normal, Chidi said to the camera, his voice steady. They are charming and helpful and everyone trusts them. That's how they get away with it. I want parents to actually see their children, not just provide for them. And I want kids who are going through what I went through to know that it's not your fault. It was never your fault. And people will believe you. You just have to keep trying until you find someone who listens. The response was overwhelming. Thousands of survivors reached out, sharing their own stories. Parents wrote about how the video made them look at their children differently and pay attention to behaviors they dismissed. Several families came forward with suspicions about their own caregivers, leading to investigations that saved other children. The Benedict family established the Chidi Foundation, focused on education for parents and caregivers, free therapy for child abuse survivors, and advocacy for stronger background check requirements for child care workers. Hugo became the program director, using her platform to speak about recognizing abuse from an insider's perspective. Blessing's case became a landmark, cited in training for social workers, police officers, and prosecutors. It highlighted how predators groom entire families, not just children. It showed the importance of listening to domestic workers who might witness abuse. It proved that justice was possible, even when delayed. Chidi is 15 now. He's still in therapy, probably for years to come. He has scars that won't ever completely heal. He struggles with intimacy and trust in ways his peers don't understand. There are days when the trauma feels fresh and overwhelming, when the past reaches up and drags him backward. But he's also thriving. He's an honor student, a talented artist whose work has been featured in local galleries. He has friends who know his story and support him without pity. He has parents who show up, who listen, who put him first. He has Hugo, his sister in all but blood, his fellow survivor, his inspiration. He gives speeches at schools now, age-appropriate talks about body autonomy and speaking up. He volunteers at the foundation, mentors younger survivors, offers them what he once desperately needed: belief, support, the assurance that they are not alone. And most importantly, he knows something now that he didn't know at 7 years old. He knows he's not broken. He was broken into, invaded, violated, but his core self, the essential Chidi, remained intact beneath all the trauma. He's not defined by what was done to him. He's defined by what he's become in spite of it. If you're listening to this story, here's what I need you to understand. For parents, your presence matters more than your provision. Your attention matters more than your ambitions. Watch your children. Really watch them. Know their moods, their artwork, their fears, their changes. Trust your instincts when something feels off. Believe your children when they try to tell you something is wrong, even when it's inconvenient, even when it challenges your worldview, even when it means acknowledging you made a mistake trusting someone. For survivors, it was not your fault. It will never be your fault. You were a child. You deserved protection. The adult who hurt you was responsible, not you. And healing is possible. It's hard, it takes time, it's not linear, but it's possible. Keep trying until you find someone who believes you. Don't give up. For witnesses, if you see something, say something. Don't convince yourself you're imagining things. Don't stay silent to protect your job or avoid awkwardness. A child's life might depend on your courage. Be like Hugo. Choose the child. For everyone, predators don't look like monsters. They look like trusted caregivers, beloved coaches, respected teachers, family friends. They're often the last people anyone would suspect. That's how they get away with it. Stay vigilant. Create environments where children feel safe to disclose. Teach children about body autonomy and appropriate touch. Make it clear that adults should never ask them to keep secrets. Chidi's story is horrifying, but it's also hopeful. Because he survived. Because justice prevailed. Because one person's courage saved a child's life. Because families can heal even from the deepest wounds. Because survivors can become advocates. Because awareness prevents future abuse. Subscribe to this channel for more stories that matter. Share this video with parents, teachers, caregivers, or anyone who works with children. Drop a comment sharing your thoughts or your own story if you feel safe doing so. Together, we can protect children. Together, we can break the silence. And if you're a child watching this, going through something similar, tell someone. Keep telling until someone believes you. You are not alone. You are not bad. You deserve safety and love. Your voice matters. Never stop using it. If you or someone you know is experiencing abuse, please contact your local child protective services or call a helpline. In Nigeria, NAPTIP 0703000003. You are not alone. Help is available. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment your thoughts till I come your way again. Bye.